With regard to myths about creative and critical thinking, let me repeat, with regard to myths about creative thinking and problem solving, that's another level now. We have moved to the level of problem solving, because we are not here to just study and earn certificate. We need to know how to solve problems. And that is a very important area in critical and creative thinking. Sometimes we earn innovation. How can we be innovative and change society? Now, myths about creative thinking. Now, these are myths. One, we have listed about how many? At least 4. Very quickly, let me summarize them in the 10 minutes that we have. One, every problem has only one solution or one answer. Now, that is a myth. The goal of problem solving is to solve the problem, and most problems can be solved in any number of ways. So telling us that every problem has only one solution or one right answer, that's a myth. It will not help us to solve a problem or be creative or grow the country we love so much. Number 2, the best answer or solution or method has already been found. That is another myth we should discard and say no to it. To say that the best answer or solution or method has already been found. The way others say a human graph is already drawn. Graph ya mundu nejore. Ati graph ya mtu imechorwa tayari. Don't struggle. Utakuwa hivi, itakuwa hivi. Or theologians who talk about predestination. You are predestined to be great or to fail. No. St. Paul says, work out for your own salvation with trembling. So it's not a question of it is already done or it has been found. You have no solution. Struggle. Development is not what Henry Okuru says in his book about development, church and development, that it is evolutional, that it involves like tadpole graduating to a frog. No. Development is a reasoned account, is critically and creatively executed through thinking through, my friend. So it is revolutionary and decision made. It's not evolutionary or coming on its own the way it wants. You have to make a choice. So we don't have the best answer or solution or method already found. They are not yet, even the beautiful ones are not yet born. They are not yet born. The beautiful ones are not yet born. The good ideas are not yet thought out. Number 3, another bad myth. Creative answers are complex technologically. Not at all. We said even that simplicity that makes you childish. It is creativity that can take you very far. You may call it childish, but this is what makes us move forward. That is childishness has taken us where we are. That which other people say it's childish, it could be the greatest thing you can ever do. So creative answers are not complex technologically, not at all. Or good books are written using jargons, English vocabularies that are hard to understand without a dictionary. That is not even good communication. You communicate with simple words, simple English, simple vernacular. That is it. The 4th point, another myth. Ideas either come or they don't. Nothing will help. That is a very fatalistic myth. That ideas either come or they don't. Nothing will help. That is losing hope. There are many successful techniques for stimulating idea generation. So you have so many ways to stimulate new ideas. We will be discussing and applying some of them. Something else is mental blocks to creative thinking and problem solving. Mental blocks. There is this what we call prejudice, that the older we get, the more preconceived ideas we have about things. These preconceptions often prevent us from seeing beyond what we already know or believe to be possible. They inhibit us from accepting change and progress. Now, I don't want to give so many examples there, but I want to say when you are prejudicial, you can even be stereotypical and say hawa watu kazi yao ni biashara, si kusoma. Hawa watu kazi yao ni uchawi na hirisi, si kusoma. Hapana, these are prejudices. Or women cannot be trusted. Women release secrets that should not be released to everyone. They don't know what to keep quiet when they should keep quiet. That's a lie. We have some of the most successful women in the world, like the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher. We have Chief Justice in Kenya now. Yes, this smiling Red Justice who has just come the other day. We have successful people like Charity Ngiru. We have successful like Mother Karua. Successful people we can be proud of. So you cannot come in and have those prejudices. It will block creative thinking and problem solving because you have prejudices. Wanjaluo hawa. Hapana. Why not talk about hawana funjo? They have creative brains, gone to school, does well in education. Some good lawyers we have in Kenya. Even the president was saying, with Olengo here, we can't lose the battle. Because they know that prejudices don't work. Kikuyu ni biashara, hawanajasoma. Hapana. These are dangerous. For you will not work with them. You will not solve Kenyan problems or African problems if we are prejudicial. If we have a lot of prejudices. Hiyo kuonea watu. The other second block to creative thinking and problem solving is functional fixation. You are fixed somewhere. Umesimama ati ni msimamo. Biashara yangu haiwezi panuka. Functional fixation is dangerous. Okay? Yeah. Sometimes we begin to see an object only in terms of its name rather than in terms of what it can do. Thus, we can see a mop only as a device for cleaning a floor and do not think that it might be useful for clearing cobwebs from the ceiling. Washing the car, it can also, mop can also, MOP, it can also wash the car, it can do aerobic exercise, it can do propping a door, open or closed, and so on. Okay? That is a functional fixation. That is a dangerous thing. The other one is learned helplessness. This is a feeling that you don't have the tools, you don't have the knowledge, the feeling that you don't have the materials, you don't have the ability. How can they study in online education? Is it a wonderful, is it a degree like any other? My friend, what are we prevented from doing if we can do mixing up chemicals through the web and you are told to write a paper on the result that are getting there and you are watching the video through online and you do well and you even help those who are in class physically. You are even better than them. Let us not be employ helplessness that we don't have this tool, we don't have a library. Who has a bigger library than the internet, the web library, where you can Google the best journals on earth, the newest information in journals that have ISBN, journals that are peer-reviewed. Yes. What are you telling us? We are trained to rely on other people for almost everything because we are learned, but we feel hopeless. So we have that learned helplessness. We think small and limit ourselves, but the world can be interacted with. Okay? So that is learned helplessness. You are learned, but that feeling that you don't have this, you don't have the other, you can't move, you keep talking about feeling that this one you don't have, the other one you don't have. So what? You keep off. Okay? So if you are technologically poor, you can learn how to cook, use tools, make clothes, use a computer. You can learn to do anything you really want to do. All you need is the motivation and commitment. You can learn to fly an airplane, drive a truck, scuba dive, fix a car, name it. The other final point on this is psychological blocks. It is another major challenge, a major block to creative thinking and problem solving. Now, some solutions are not considered or rejected simply because our reaction to them is yuck. But EK solutions themselves may be useful or good if they solve a problem well or save your life. Eating lizards and grasshoppers doesn't sound great, but if it keeps you alive in the wilderness, it is a good solution. Don't say psychologically it will hurt me. You are in the forest. You are left there on a parachute when there were problems in the air. If you are on a plane, you are there in the... You eat the grasshoppers. Yes. And but if psychologically you have certain attitude, sisi hatukuli nyama ya mbuzi, ya ng'ombe, my friend, psychological block can bring you down. Oh, I can't stand it under that man, that woman, that university. There's somebody I dislike. That is a psychological block. That is stopping you from reaching the promised land. So if you can't go to the land of promise, the land of learned people, you can't join a university like this one, where all nation scholars assemble. Surely, that psychological block is then blocking you to one's greatness, to one's self-liberation, from self-enlightenment, from communal usefulness. It is blocking you from being the best you can to yourself, to your people, to your family, to your country, to your continent, to the global society. So psychological blocks prevent you from doing something just because it doesn't sound good or right, which is a pretty ridiculous thing. Overcoming such blocks can be really beneficial. Navy commandos in Vietnam overcame their blocks and put on women's pantyhose when they marched through the swamps and jungle. The pantyhose cut down on the friction and rubbing from the plants and aided in the removing the dozens of leeches after a mission. Overcoming the block to using your own blood to write a help note could save your life someday if you got kidnapped. Though time is over, let me take 2 more minutes or 5 minutes to talk about positive attitudes for creativity. So for now, having said all those things now, without now explaining, we must employ very positive attitudes for creativity. One, for you to overcome all those blocks that we have noted, we have listed about 7, is it? About 10, but we talk about 9. Positive attitudes for creativity. One is curiosity. They say curiosity killed the cat. But here in this study, critical and creative thinking course, we tell you be curious. Okay? As an attitude, build an attitude of curiosity. Wanting to know next. Ni nini hatujasoma? What is it that we are going into? So creative people want to know things, all kinds of things, just to know them. Because knowledge does not require reason. The question is, why do we want to know that? Seems strange to the creative person who is likely to respond, because I don't know the answer. Knowledge is enjoyable and often useful in strange and unexpected ways. The other attitude, positive attitude, is challenge. Now, curious people like to identify and challenge the assumptions behind ideas, behind proposals. They challenge the assumptions behind proposals, problems, beliefs, and statements. Many assumptions, of course, turn out to be quite necessary and solid, but many others have been assumed unnecessarily. And in breaking out of these assumptions, often comes a new idea, a new path, a new solution, a way forward. So challenge the assumptions. That is a good attitudes. Assumption ndio wanasema hizo ma stereotypes watu wanazo. If you run to challenge them, not just hearing a gossip and celebrating imepita. Si tuliambiwa April Fool's Day, Obama is coming to bury her grandmother, na Star wakaweka, newspaper wakaweka headline. They told us Obama is coming in Kenya to bury the grandmother. My friend, if you are not able to challenge those assumptions, okay, and you are not critical enough, you end up failing many times. The third attitude that will help us is be constructive. Have what we call constructive discontent. Discontent ni kutosheka, not getting satisfied. Don't be discontented, be dissatisfied. So when you have constructive discontent, you can go far. Constructive means it is not out of just opposing others, just opposing people talking certain character, because you have prejudice, you hate so and so talking. You think that the fact that you hate that person, it will affect the person. Eh? You think if you hate me, I'll stop talking. I will not stop doing my things because you hate me. No, I can't stop because you are about mouthing me. I'll do what I know because I'm the one who knows myself. So when you have constructive discontent, this is not a winning or complaining or gripping kind of discontent. You are not a winner or complaining person. Winning, gripping kind of discontent, but the ability to see a need for improvement and to propose a method of making that improvement. So constructive discontent is a positive, enthusiastic discontent, reflecting the thought. For example, hey, I know a way to make that better. You are telling those guys they are doing things unaona si sawa. You think they are not right. You tell them, hey friends, I think I've got an idea. I'm gonna give you an idea to make that better. So constructive discontent is necessary for a creative problem solver. For if you are happy with everything the way it is, you won't want to change anything. Only when you become discontent with something, when you see a problem, will you want to solve the problem and improve the situation? Okay? The fourth point is a belief that most problems can be solved. You can see now, back to faith now. By faith at first and by experience later on, the creative thinker believes that something can always be done to eliminate or help alleviate almost every problem. Every problem. Because problems are solved by a commitment of time and energy. And where this commitment is present, few things are impossible. So you have to build an attitude that a belief that most problems can be solved. Another attitude we need to employ is the ability to suspend judgment and criticism. So many new ideas, because they are new and unfamiliar, seem strange, odd, bizarre, even repulsive. Only later do they become obviously great. Other ideas in their original incarnations are indeed weird, but they lead to practical, beautiful, elegant things. Thus, it is important for the creative thinker to be able to suspend judgment when new ideas are arriving, to have an optimistic attitude toward ideas in general, and to avoid condemning them with the typical kinds of negative response like, that will never work, that is not good, what an idiotic idea, that is impossible, and so on and so forth. So you need to have ability to suspend judgment and criticism. It is not good to just rush with quick ideas to appear like you are a quick thinker. No, you can even suspend judgment and criticism so that you study the matter. A sixth point is we need to see the good in the bad. You remember when President Mwai Kibaki took over from President Moi, when the country had a GDP of about 23 billion US dollars. Kibaki said we must convert challenges into solution or something. I am forgetting the actual ones, but he meant into opportunities, challenges into opportunities. So see the good in the bad. And the economy grew 3 times. Now we are talking of 99 billion US dollars today with all the debts. Even Uhuru is not worried, he's growing fat with all these debts. Sorry to say that. He's growing bigger and happier even with all these debts, because you know the economy is not so small. It only requires maybe some management. You manage it better. But it's not so small as it was in 2003. Is it 2002? Yes, December 30th, 2002. So seeing the good in the bad, we say that creative thinkers, when faced with the poor solutions, don't cast them away. Instead, they ask, what's good about it? Because there may be something useful even in the worst ideas. Yes, even with your enemy, an enemy can say something logical. And however little that good may be, it may be turned to good effect or made greater. So that is the attitude we need to have, to see good in the bad. Even when we are insulted, underrated, no, so and so underrates me. But then, you know he doesn't know. That he doesn't know that he doesn't know. Yeah. Time will absolve us. Time will tell. Yes. The 7th point, problems lead to improvement. Problems lead to improvement. So the attitude of constructive discontent searches for problems and possible areas of improvement. But many times, problems arrive on their own. But such unexpected and perhaps unwanted problems are not necessarily bad, because they often permit solutions that leave the world better than before the problem arose. Or think about exam papers. When you don't do as well as you want, you think, oh no. But actually, you have a good insight into what you don't know and still need to learn. You are aware of the geography of your knowledge in a much more detailed form than before the errors showed up. Another